Gordon was always kind of famous for these little quotes that he'd have and little sayings, and I don't really know where he got them from. Maybe he invented them himself, maybe he heard somewhere else. I don't know. I didn't really care. I just cared that he was telling me, and I would listen to it, And one of them he said to me was, there's not enough hours in the day and with your own two hands to get rich. Not unless you're a gold sculptor or a painter, or not unless you do something so freaky and rare that nobody else in the world can do, and it's so rare that you can charge astronomical amounts of money to do it. And he said, you just can't get rich touching it yourself. And I never forgot that. That stayed with me. That's actually what put me onto the path of being a clinician, because I realized after leaving Gordon and Ian and starting my own business, I could only ride 10 horses a day. I couldn't ride 15, couldn't ride 20. I had to touch it to make money from it. So that's when I made my first 3 VHS videotapes. One day we'll put them on the club and I'll show you how bad they are. But I went and hired a television crew. They came out, they filmed me. It was a 1-camera shoot, and I had a piece of paper in my pocket of what I wanted to talk about, and sure as shit, I just went at it. And that's where the first three VHS tapes come from. And because I realized I could only ride so many horses. When you're in a service business, there's only so much you can mark up the service until people won't pay it anymore. I always put the analogy of this is like, if here's a bottle of Coca-Cola, okay? I can only sell you this bottle for so much money until you say, I'm not paying any more money. It's not worth that. So I've reached my limit. But if I say to you, how much will you pay if I teach you how to make this bottle of Coke? How much will you pay if I teach you how to make the ingredients, make the bottle, and you could sell your own Coke? How much would you pay then? And the answer is, well, that depends on how bad I want it. That's where marketing comes in. My job is to make this bottle of Coke seem so damn valuable that you'll pay whatever I want to get it. So that's where I started realizing you can only make so much money by touching it. Farming, you're not necessarily touching it. You touch it, but then it grows. Manufacturing, it grows, etc. Gordon, I wouldn't say Gordon was the best businessman in the world at all. And I don't mean that disrespectfully against him, but Gordon, as a good rule of thumb, was probably a pretty bad businessman as a general rule, because he always did too many favors for everybody. Gordon was real big on pay me later, or, well, it's a favor. And favors don't pay the bank manager. Favors don't pay the bank manager. So he gave me some damn good advice there. He didn't necessarily take it himself as much as but he sure gave me the good advice. Gordon didn't charge what he should have charged for his services. I do remember that. Somebody would drop a horse off, leave it 3 or 4 months, and he'd only charge him for 2 months. Or he wouldn't charge him for worming, or wouldn't charge him for shoeing a horse. Or he'd give him lots of stuff for free. And at one point, he got into some financial trouble, and the bank sold him up. And I remember all those people that he did free shit for, they never showed up at the sale to buy him out. They never showed up with the extra $20 for this or $20 for that. So it taught me a very valuable in life. You don't need to overcharge people, but you sure as shit need to charge people for what your services are, okay? And when you give it away, it can be worth nothing too at certain times. It can go the other way too. I've made a lot of money where I've done some deals for some people to get a foot in the door and to get established and prove my worth. I was quite happy to give away sweat because I could get it back, but I always took a calculated bet. Like, I'll give you one example. When I first went out on my own, I needed money, of course. I'm broke. So one guy I knew, he had 20 horses to break in, 20 colts to start. So I called him up and I said, I'll train one for free. You pay the board, pay the feed and the shoeing. I'll train it for free for 6 weeks. Come pick it up. If you like what I've done, I'm going to charge this much. I'd like to start all your other horses. And I said, but if you don't like what I've done, you don't send me any more horses and you don't have to pay me for the horse I did. So he took me up on the offer. I knew what the outcome was going to be. I knew I wasn't going to fail. I knew I was going to do a good job. When the guy came to see his horse, I did a phenomenal job. He sent me the other 19 horses to make money from. So I did it for free, but it was calculated. I knew that was how I needed to get my foot in the door to prove to this guy I could do a good job, to get the other 19 to make money from. So when you do something for free like that, that's what I call sweat equity. That's banking on me. I've always known this. I'll bank on me every day of the week. There's only a handful of other people I'll bank on, but sure as shit me, I'll bank on me every day of the week. I will not let me down. I will not let me down. So when you believe in yourself and you know you will get the job done, you might have to stick your neck out there and do a little bit of free stuff to get your foot in the door for a bigger deal.